to So Many Games So Little Time. My name is Joachim, and as you can see, I'm here alone at home with the same clothes as multiple other videos because I'm doing this all because tomorrow my daughter is coming home, my freshly newborn daughter. But that's just a detail because we're talking about the top 5. My God, I just called my newborn baby a detail. Anyway, you know what I mean. It's nothing to do with this video series because that's the top 20 of Kine and myself. You can see Kine is not here because of the baby reason, and also Kine has his own life and it's just the freaking holidays, you know, we all have stuff to do. So he's gonna do his top 5 separately. I'm doing mine separately. And yeah, too bad we don't have the banter that we can, you know, but you know, it is what it is. Can't do much about it. As you can see, I already have Board Game Geek ready. I could actually take out the boxes, but it is now almost 3 a.m. at night, so I don't want to make too much noise. So I'm not going to do the whole box thing and open it. And I'll just use my good friend BGG. Yeah. So my number 5, I'm actually cheating because it's been a while since I made the list, is, and I'm sure some people will definitely disagree, it is Mage Knight Ultimate Edition. So just Mage Knight. I've had the former edition, then sold the former edition so I could buy the Ultimate Edition, because I think people who have played before will also remember that the expansions, they had like color problems, like you could see which card came from which expansion because the color of the card quality was different, really bad. But anyway, you can see it still gets 9.0 after 3,900 ratings. I absolutely love Mage Knight. I love it, I love it, I love it to bits. Now, the downside of using Board Game Geek here is when I show pictures, many people will show their edited versions, right? It's not the plain version anymore. But I guess, for example, this looks pretty normal, the way it's supposed to look. Yeah. So basically, Mage Knight is you start with your knight, your Mage Knight here at the beginning, the left side, the portal, and you have your whole deck of cards, and you shuffle, you draw. Here's 4, but I don't know if he's leveled up yet. He has leveled up. 6, sorry. So I think you start with 5 or something. It escapes me. You start with a certain amount of cards, right? And then you just decide what you're going to do. Because the game has like multiple things. You have, of course, movement that you can do. You can have influence, which mostly means that you are going to recruit people. So then you also have attack, so you know, actually attacking people, and also blocking. So those 4 things. Now the cool part about the game is, even if a card says, we also have spells and everything else, but anyway, even if a card says, for example, move 5, right? If you put it sideways, then you can just use it as 1 attack or 1 block or whatever. But just that simple thing that every card can also mean one of all the other things, it gives you such a brain burner, right? Because even if you say, oh, I really need to move and I have no move cards, you can still move. And there's so many scenarios that can pop up, like, okay, I want to do this and this, can I do it, can I do it, can I do it? So never play this with 3 or more. You can play with 3, I guess, if people have played it before. But if you play, I remember playing with 4, and we played 7-8 hours, okay? So that can happen. But to me, I love it, and those people never complained either. So you start with a lowly level Mage Knight, but you grow. Like here as well, this guy has already hired 3 units that you can then use in multiple different ways. Every card, as you can see here as well, has a top and bottom action, and the bottom action you can use when you use crystals. And in the beginning, you have a day and night cycle. So at night, certain terrains are more difficult to walk over. During the day, other terrains are more difficult and others are easier. During the day, you can use sun mana, so light mana, but at night you've got darkness. It's so much. The crystals that you use for your spells are cool. You can go to a monastery, heal, hire people, or burn it down to get artifacts. There's so many things that you can do in Mage Knight that I absolutely love it. There's so much variety. It has a bunch of scenarios, but actually the most that I've always played is conquests, where you just try first, you find the cities, and once you find the cities, you basically siege them. Yeah, and then there's another one that's here for Volcare, for example. That is one, you see him here. He's an army leader who just goes through the land, and you have to try to stop him, so build yourself up and everything. There's a lot of units, so every game the same units might not come out. Yeah, the artifacts give you cool, amazing powers when you need them. The miniatures can look better, but I mean, they're still painted and everything. They're not just gray, so at least there's that. There's one caveat could be as well, like, you know, one argument could be that the heroes are not different enough for each other, because every hero deck only has like 2 or 3 unique cards, if I'm not mistaken. So they don't play that differently, but even those cards, they already make a difference. And also, when you level up, either you level up and create a spot in your army so you can hire more units, or you level up and you can get skills. So you draw 2 skills, you choose one, and the other one goes to the pool. So if you play with more people, the pool will also have their leftover spells. So then the next time you have your 2 skills, next time you level up, you get 2 skills and the pool to choose from what you want to keep. So the characters do lean you towards a certain strategy. There's a bunch of them, especially in the Ultimate Edition. It looks really nice. There's different ways to enhance the game as well to make it look prettier. I'm actually talking too much and not showing enough. For example, here you have the cities and some of the heroes. Yeah, it's just cool. I really love it. I wouldn't say it's a sandbox game if it's not a sandbox game. You can do what you want, but you only always have certain goals that you're trying to achieve. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to stop there. This is number 5. Mage Knight used to be number 1 for the longest of time, or in the top 2. But yeah, now it's gone down to 5. So that means the other 4 must be better, right? So, let's move on to number 4. Number 4 is... used to be my number 1 for so long. Seasons. So let me show you. Seasons also has 2 expansions that I'm not going to show, of course, but Seasons, basically it is where to begin. I'm just going to show you the inside of the box first. Okay, look at these dice, big chunky dice. The arts are really nice, the boards are cool, but the dice help sell the game a lot, first of all, but also just the cards. For example, we have, let's do this one here. Just look at how beautiful and sparkling it is. And you have all these cards. You have 2 types of cards. You've got orange ones, here's an orange one, and the purple ones. The orange cards are familiars, so they're creatures, and the purple ones are magical items. But the cool part is, well, there's a lot of cool parts because I keep repeating myself. Okay, I'm just too excited. I'm always gushing about this game. At the start of the game, right, there's going to be some drafting going on, or you can do no drafting, but that's stupid. You should always do drafting. Everybody gets 9 cards, okay? You choose one, put it down, pass it on, until eventually you have 9. But then when you have the 9, you have to separate them into 3 stacks. One will be year 3, 1 year 2, and 1 year 1. The year 1s, you're going to start within your hand. And then in the picture here, you're going to go from 1 all the way down to 12. And then you have 1 year. And then you take the second stack, and then you do it again, third stack, and then you do it again, and then the game will end. Now, while you're doing this, you're going to be rolling the dice, you're going to be choosing a dice, you're going to be increasing your summoning gauge, which allows you to play cards, because if your summoning gauge is 0, you can't play anything. You're going to be able to draw more cards if you want, but it's always a risk, okay? It's always a risk. Because every card in your hand is -5 points at the end, or -5 crystals. you are going to be taking energy. So you can see the energy here in the middle could be wind, earth, fire, water, because all the cards, you can see a little bit at the bottom here, have a cost that you need to pay to play them. And some cards just help you or make things cheaper, or they'll give you certain bonuses, but other cards will also mess with your opponents. Like every time they play a card, they have to give you 1 crystal, if point. If they don't have any crystals, they can't play a card. So things like that. Then there's also there's so many different cards, and the art is so beautiful. And every time you roll, you get to choose a die, and then you're hoping, oh, please don't take that one because I really need it. Like some dice will just give you points. Other cards will let you sell your energy for crystals. To transmutation. I'm not sure anymore whether the exact term is for it. You can see here at the top of the player board, you have 4 spots. Those are actions you can decide to do, but then you get minus points at the end of the game. So it's always tricky. You can only do it 4 times, and then your maximum is minus 20 points. So it's pretty steep. So let me see if I can find some other pictures of just cards, because the art is amazing. It looks so beautiful. Like this is a picture, but can I zoom in enough? I guess so. Yeah. So it's really, really beautiful, and some cards are just amazing. Like for example, with the Grimoire here, if I'm not mistaken, you suddenly, instead of a limit of 7 tokens, you suddenly have 10 energy tokens that you can keep. What else is that I immediately like this one? I can't read the title, but it costs you, I think, is it 10 crystals to place, and it gives you 20 points at the end. So stuff like that. So that's a simple one, of course. What else here did I immediately realize? Like these boots, I think you can choose every round if you go forward or backwards on the track. This is my favorite, because if you pay this, all cards are -1 element. So, but it's just, I don't know, I just love it. It's quite easy to explain to people. Everybody who plays it loves it. It's cute. It has the expansions which add even more cards. It can be a bit mean if the cards that end up in your game are all like, you know, interacting with other players. But if you don't want that, you just remove those. It's up to you. Yeah. Seasons. It only gets to 7.4, but should be higher. It should be 11 out of 10. It's a really cool game. It is a really, really, really cool game. Beautiful. People will wonder what you're playing when you're playing it. Tableau building, you know, you only have a maximum of, how many cards was it again? Because you can see it on the player board how much it is. I think, is it 12 or 13 or higher? 15 maybe? 15. You can only have a maximum of 15 cards, and then you're stuck as well. Yeah, it's just really, really cool. Well, I'm going to stop gushing about it. Seasons, that's my number 4. Used to be my number 1 for the longest of time. So, the people who know me, who've checked my Instagram, they might think now like, okay, so it's not Mage Knight, it's not Seasons. That was your top 2 for the longest of time. Yes. So what are the other 3? What are the other 3? It's not Dwellings either, because I was raving about that too. Number 3, well, maybe you should know, is Euthia, Torment of Resurrection. Now, also gets a 9. Why Euthia? Well, I did a bunch of videos about it, and where I made enough mistakes, but it's so easy to play. I don't mean the rules. It's quite easy to set up once you know how to do it. I mean, it'll take some time, but I do have the legendary edition with all these towers and everything, so that helps. But I don't know, the game flows so easily. The setup, I guess, is long enough. Don't believe me when I say it's short. It's not short, but it plays so easily. It's so much fun to explore. Sorry. My apologies. It's so much fun to explore. It's so much fun to fight the monsters, to level up, to get the gear, go to the stores, buy the gear, pimp out your person. I've only played the scenarios that go up to 10 turns. I haven't done the bigger ones yet, but I cannot wait. Of course, in my current situation is going to be difficult, but eventually it will work. The characters play so differently from each other because of their different health and their skills, and even like some people. Well, like another detail I like is like some characters would have to have a higher cost to wear plate armor or something, or just chest armor, and then so many different things that I really, really enjoy. And also there's a lot of mechanics that you can put in there that you can choose to remove or not, like the Griffin or like epic monsters and other stuff that I have sometimes tried, sometimes not. Yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say than that. It's just cool. Also, if you play with more people, you want to defeat your opponents because you're taking points away from them and giving them to yourself, which is also cool. It can be seen as a little bit mean, but they're not attacking you. They're just taking over the monster. And obviously you want to do your best then, otherwise it's a bit lame. And that also keeps everybody involved. Really nice mechanic as well. The different scenarios have different ways of scoring. There's if you discover certain NPCs, they give you different quests, and they're not the same every game because they get shuffled. You don't always know what you're gonna get when you get treasure. You don't always know what you're gonna get if you go to the shops, because it's easy to refresh stuff. Just like Diablo, having armor sets actually work to your advantage. It's just watch the videos. I mean, part of me is like, why is it not number one? Maybe it's because it's too early, but I would play this every week if I could, to be honest. I could, because it is so good. But the downside is it still takes time to. The reason why did this top Mage Knight? Because Mage Knight takes even longer. Like Mage Knight gives you so many options that it takes time, and time means it doesn't go to the table as often. And that's a knock on it, Even though it's a good thing, it automatically comes with a negative side, because too much time. I don't always have that much time. I rarely have that much time, so that's a problem. But with Euthia, on your turn, you have 3, maybe 4 tokens that you can use, and that's it. So automatically your time will be less. Okay, you'll do it faster. So the flow gives. I can easily play Euthia with 4, I think. I mean, so far I've only played it with 2 only, and that was fun, and it never took too long. Of course, if you play with people with AP, then it might be too long. But so far so good. So I'm pretty positive about that. Anyway, like everything about it, they're gonna come out with a new expansion, so I can't even wait for that one either. So yeah. Anyway, that was my number 3, right? Euthia. So what is number 2? Well, the previous ones, I don't know if you can see Mage Knight. I guess you could. The other one you can see very easily. So, what do you think it is? It is Terraforming Mars. That is my number 2. It went up a lot because I've played it a lot more since I did my last top 50, I think it was back then. Yeah, the whole drafting, the components, like the cubes. I love the cubes. The boards, I love the boards, especially the recessed boards they have now. I love the fact that I pimped it so much, so it looks so cool. I'll make a video about everything that I changed in the game and what it looks like now. I like like I said, the drafting, the fact that as you're playing, as you're creating your engine, it just becomes this really smooth engine, and you keep getting more stuff and you get more cards, and I know you're supposed to play the game super efficiently and try to end it quickly so that other people like if you feel with this game, if you think you're winning, you should try to end the game as quickly as possible, so people cannot stop you. But the way we play it, like I don't know how they say how long should the game take. What they say 120 minutes. We've played this for 3 hours or more so many times because we just enjoy getting more cards in our hand and putting it out and then making our engine explode even more, and it's just too much fun. And I know you have hate drafting and everything, and you can do that, and then at times we do that as well, but it's not like a running thing. It's like, you know, it's not that we just enjoy doing it. And then all the expansions, except for Venus. I don't like Venus. Sorry, I don't like Venus, but everything else I like. Even the last one. What was it again? Where you have like the what's the name again? Where you have like the Parliament thing. Shoot. Tell me. Big box. No. Harvest, no. Turmoil. Yeah, Turmoil. Yeah, I really like that. I like that too. Colonies is probably my favorite. Really like Colonies. And of course also the one, what is it? The one where you get the Prelude. Yeah, Prelude. Also really, really great. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, so sorry for the people who don't really know what Terraforming Mars is. Very simple. You start the game with a company, a corporation actually. They give you certain benefits, give you a certain amount of money, and it also shows what a corporation is good at. It's like a power, like a symmetric power. Then you get your starting cards, which tends to be also drafting, and then you decide which cards you keep. You have to pay for it immediately, and then on your turn you always do 2 actions, or 1 and pass if I'm not mistaken. So you do your action, and then the next person. So your action could be like you build a card. For example, let me show the board. An action could be that you play a card, as you can see here. You pay for it, you put it down, and you do whatever it says. It could be that you're using these special actions here, which don't happen too often, to be honest, and you pay for them. Could be that through your card, you are actually putting some greenery tiles on, or some water tiles, or you're building a city, and all those things might rise. The temperature of Mars might rise. The oxygen might rise, and if they both reach the end and the water tiles are gone, the game will end. You're getting terraforming rating, but your victory points is also money that you get on the board that you can't see here, sadly. Also has all the here you go. Also has all the income you have. So here goes your money. This is I forgot what it is. Again, this is titanium. This is steel, I think, yeah, steel. Here you have your plants, and if you have 8 plants, you can build a greenery, put it on the game board. Here you have energy, and energy the next round will move over if you don't use it to heat, which you can then use to the 8 heat to increase the temperature. Oh, and the cards in your hand, they'll be like, oh, okay, I need this. And if you have the game board, every game there's milestones you're trying to get and awards at the end of the game that you're trying to get. It is a race in trying to get those things, but just the fact that you're creating your engine is so cool. And if you want to know how much people love it, just go to etsy.com, type in Terraforming Mars, and see how much stuff has been created to pimp this game. It's crazy. And a bunch of spin-offs and everything as well. It is so good. Yeah, I absolutely love Terraforming Mars just because of the drafting, building your engine, seeing it work, having the different corporations plays different every time. The cards you get into your hand, the problem dealing with I like this, I buy them all, and then seeing that you have too many cards in your hand and not enough money to play them, and then you have to sell your cards again because you didn't plan correctly. It's typically me. So it's a really nice game. Really cool game. And yeah, you can see 8.4, 74,000 people can't be right, wrong. All right, so that's my number 2. So there's one left. There is one video on my channel about it, only one. And it's funny because I was talking about Mage Knight, how timing got a knock. The game got a knock because of the timing. This one, you need a whole day for it. So, Twilight Imperium. Oh, I'm actually misspelling it. Fantastic. Twilight Imperium. 4th edition. Here we go. You can actually see it over there on the top. Twilight Imperium, 4th edition. And also the expansion. How was it? Something with the king. I've already forgotten it. Oh my goodness. What is it again? Prophecy of Kings. Yeah. I almost said Return of the King. Where to begin? The timing. There's no knock on it. There's no knock on it. Because if you want to play this, you need other people. You need a full day to play it. If you want to play it the right way, which according to me is 6 players. I don't want to play 8. It's too long. 6 is the sweet spot for me. I'm not interested in playing with 3 either, or 4 or 5, 6. 6 is what I'm going for. And those games tend to go from 8 to 12 hours, depending on the table and the races, the factions and everything. I have a Twilight Imperium surprise coming up as well. I made some videos about it. I love it because it's so epic. This is the only game where weeks before I play, I'm listening to podcasts and checking out websites to see how I'm going to play and to know more about my faction and to watch out and know what good starts there are and everything, to just basically try to learn. And I haven't won once. I've been like 2nd or 3rd a couple of times, but it's just everyone is doing that. Everyone is preparing, and then you get to the table and it's just cool to, it's just a giant space opera, you know, strategy sending out. You have the goals everybody's trying to, I don't know the specific term, the goals everyone's trying to complete to get points, and the first one to X amount of points wins the game. You choose, you can say 10 points, you can say 12, you can say 14, depending on how long you want to play. There's always the different cards you have to choose from to say which action that you're going to do that round. Like, I'm really horrible with thinking of the correct terms during times like this. Okay. So for example, you can go for technology, but then everybody else can follow you in technology, but because you chose it, it's going to have a better effect. And everybody else might have to pay a command token to do it. Then do you want to keep your command token, or do you want to spend it on something else? Stuff like that. It's a lot of choices you have to make in the game constantly, and you constantly have to adjust to the state of the board. So there's other stuff like warfare, there's other stuff like trade, and it's like trade is something cool. You create your own goods, but then you can choose who at the table can replenish their goods for free as well. And then suddenly they're all really friendly, you know what I mean? And there's one big rule in Twilight Imperium: whenever someone's being friendly or they ask you something or suggest something, that means they really want it. So, you know, you cannot be nice. If you're too nice in this game, then you're probably not going to win. I'm not saying be a dick, but just, you know, don't make sure if you have leverage, you keep it, and don't just allow someone to have it because they're a nice guy, because then that nice guy is going to win. And then you spend your whole day, and then, you know, it's happened multiple times, and be like, why are you doing this? But you remember it, right? There's a lot of epic moments in games that you remember, like, oh my god, yeah, then that was crazy, or this happened and that happened. This is another game where I invested in a lot of money. Well, not a lot, but I invested money on Etsy to bling it, right? To make it look better and even more fun to play. Yeah, and every time I play, I want to be a different faction, because I want to explore the game even more. I have my own copy now. Haven't played it once because we keep playing my friend's copy, which I'm fine with, but I just needed to have it because it's so good. Every game plays differently because of who you're playing against. Who are you sitting next to is an important part that's chosen in the beginning, even before you meet up. You already know who you're going to be sitting next to. I mean, if you do it the way that we do anyway, we have a WhatsApp group and everything. Everything is planned out. It's just a huge, cool day. And like I say, timing, and it's not a problem because we used to play every month. I think we played every month for like 5 months in a row. And it's just planned. It's fine, you know. It's a month away, cool. The reason why Mage Night gets a knock is because people don't organize a Mage Night day as much. You know, it's a game that can take a long time, but you can play it solo. So it's different. But this one is just like, you know what's going to happen. It's going to be epic. It's going to be long. And another reason why it's long is in the middle, you have Mechatol Rex. The moment someone conquers Mechatol Rex or invades it, then there's going to be a space council from then on. Every round there's going to be an agenda phase where people are talking about and voting on laws that might, or directives, whatever, that might change the game. And sometimes really change the game, you know. So, and that adds another level of intrigue. I have, for example, here, this person on the left has all the action cards here, like a cheat sheet to remember what everything does, because there is a lot of stuff you have to remember. Like, what do the people around me... Okay, no, I should stop. If you think, oh, this is too much for me, this is too intimidating, it is not. It is not. The first time you play it, don't expect to win. If you're playing with normal people, you're not going to get killed off. There's no point in killing anyone off. You can, but there's no point. Okay, just play the game, discover it, explore it, see what other people are doing, learn from it. And then next time you play, you'll learn some more stuff. And then you'll learn some more stuff, and so on. So it's just the experience. I don't care if I play it 50 times and never win. I really don't. It's just so much fun. That's why it's my number one now. Now, if we're 1 year later and I played it once in a year, maybe it won't be my number one anymore. I don't know. There's always recency bias as well, right? There's always there. But at this point, yeah, it's just so good. And with the expansion, even better. If you've only been playing the base game, get the expansion. The exploration mechanic that's in there now makes it even better. And the races, the factions that came out, so good. So good. Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely love it. That's why it's my number one. It's crazy because so much has changed since my previous lists, you know. But yeah, I can't wait for my list of next year to see what happened, what changed. Because even now, when we're talking about all this, I've already played games now that I think like, wow, this is good. I wonder how high this is going to be next year. For example, In Too Deep, you know, really, really good as well. Anyway, this was my top 5. I'm going to stop here. 33 minutes for 5 games. I think that's fine. So you can imagine if it was with Kine, it would have been a very long video, at least an hour, I think. I'm really curious to see what his top 5 is. Well, check that out. I'm really happy you watched mine too. And well, I'll see you next year. And please do tell us what you think about our top and if you agree or not with some of the stuff that I've said. Okay, that's it. Have a very nice day or night or wherever you are. I was Joachim. This was so many games, so little time. And I'll see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.